Hello Factorio players, welcome to my mega base. Uh, this is a tour. Here's my train station. I built this first after I completed all the science. The first thing I did is I tore down my entire base and built this train station, which was about the size of my old base. So I filled up all this is just a big train station, and before I did anything else, before I had anything, I planned way ahead, and it ended up working out. The idea behind this train station is that in theory that each station is an equal distance from this stacker and this chain signal here, so that the trains will go to every station. They won't pile up waiting to go to one station, and they'll use all four of the stations even though they're all named the same. So there's a waiting area outside of each station, and then there's a spot outside of each station where a train can exit the station exactly when it needs to, and then it waits for the light so it can get out onto the main line. So that's four stations. They're working pretty well. I mean, they're emptying the trains, and I know it looks like the ore's backed up, but most of it's getting used pretty quick. Here's the center part of this furnace build is my iron. The top and the bottom are my steel production. Okay, there's the map. And I've got productivity 2s in all of these furnaces. I think there's how many furnaces is this? I'm gonna look at the power network. I've got 2,400 furnaces. I guess it's a lot of furnaces, and I have 1.1 gigawatts going into factories. And right now I'm using 2.3 gigawatts of power while not charging the accumulators. So 2.3 constant draw on the power network, not counting accumulators charging and uncharging. That's just the draw on everything else. So I've got 8 belts of iron, 2 belts of steel, and 16 belts of copper, which was overkill. I don't need nearly that much. I did the math on a Factorio calculator, and I forgot to account for the savings in ore and iron and plate from the productivity modules. So I needed a lot less copper than I thought I needed, and a lot more steel, because I expanded the factory because I had enough stuff to do so. Like, I extended the production lines past what I'd originally planned them to be. And yeah, I'm not even using half of these copper furnaces. Over here there's this robot section. None of these robots are making parts for rockets. This is all for module production, and it's still not enough. I have no red circuit buffer. I have some green circuits built up, but I'm actually stealing from the rocket production area to put circuits into my module production. Here's my oil. I have two oil unloading stations here. Pardon the lag and the biters. I'm so sick of. Here's the map. One sec. Going around the outer edge and killing biters. I'm done. I can't. I'm no more. I just built some turrets, and they're doing just fine. So here's my oil. I can unload 2 at once. I've got plenty of crude, and right now what's turning off some of the refineries is I have extra light oil, and that's okay. That's how it's designed, because the 2 items that I always want to have plenty of is light oil and petroleum. And I have my system set up so that the cracking only happens if I have plenty of light oil and not enough petroleum. So if I have 1,000 petroleum, at any time the petroleum goes over 1,000, the cracking shuts off. And the way I did this was with 2 pumps in series that they won't let fluids pass through unless the condition is met. So if there's 1,000 petroleum in the system, but in the tank that the wire's hooked up to, this pump turns off when there's more than 1,000. It turns on when there's less than 1,000. And I did this because my cracking was getting first dibs on all light oil that was coming in. It was filling my petrol tanks, turning off my refineries over here, and this was not allowing my solid fuel build to work. And right now I've got a buffer of rocket fuel built up, so this isn't really working at full capacity right now. But there are times where I need this to go at full steam, and in order to get the 2 solid blue belts of solid fuel that I need. So that's the oil, and that's all the plates in production so far. Here's my power network. Right now I'm using 3.4 gigawatts in order to charge the accumulators, and it's a lot. That's a lot of power. I'm using 1 gigawatt on furnaces alone. Or sorry, 1 gigawatt on factories alone, and I can't even begin to describe how many processing units went into all these productivity 3 modules that I have pretty much everywhere, except I have only productivity 1s in the furnaces over here and 2s in the steel, because the speed penalty for productivity modules is the same for level 1, 2, and 3. So updating from level 1 to level 2 productivity modules will actually help fill the belt more. So here's my circuit build. It produces 3 solid blue belts of circuits, and it feeds circuits into the logistics network when the circuits aren't being used to build rockets. Here I've got some going over here into module production. My red circuit build, there's never enough red circuits. Anyone who's played Factorio knows that this is everybody's bottleneck, is red circuits, and boy do I have a lot of them. So that's like, I don't know, 200 factories or something. How many factories do I have? I have 1,800 assembly machines. And I don't want to count. I would guess 100 or 200, 300. Yeah, these are like 48 each on each of these lines or something. A lot of red circuit factories. Currently my bottleneck is processing units, and there's really no reason to expand this because all of my steel furnaces are on. So the second I increase processing unit production, steel will become my bottleneck, and it really won't help my rocket production speed very much at all. So I have way too much copper. Everything's backed up because it's waiting on processing units, but the ratio is close enough that increasing processing units will just make something else the bottleneck, and it won't really help me that much. Here's my satellite build. You really don't need that many factories to make satellites, even for a gigantic factory. For a normal size factory, you probably only need 1 assembly machine making solar panels. You only need 100 solar panels for every 1,000 of these rocket control units, 1,000 low density structures, and 1,000 rocket fuel. So you really don't need that many solar panels in the grand scheme of things. Am I ready to launch? Well, I guess I'll end the tour with a 8 rocket launch here. Hopefully this one will be done here soon. Back to the map, I guess I can show you. There's my solar build compared to my huge factory. And I have a solar train. When I first heard about somebody's solar train, I thought that's ridiculous. There's no way that's effective or a good way to place down solar panels. Like, why don't you just place them down? No, it helps because the robots traveling from here all the way up to here take forever. So I've got a solar train that brings puts the solar panels and the accumulators into a chest up here, and the robots don't have to travel nearly as far to place down the units. And yeah, the pollution cloud is just ridiculously huge. I had this brilliant idea of starting a desert, which was horrible. Yeah, I'm done killing biter nests. So yeah, I guess I'll end the tour with launching all the rockets. Thanks for watching, and have fun playing Factorio.